Well, good morning. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate. As we are actually shutting down this mass vax site, we are actually celebrating that hope is on the horizon and we are on the road to recovery. Here at the mall in Columbia, we've actually been able to vaccinate nearly 50,000 people. And that's in part because of our partnership with the state, with private industry, and everyone on our team and county government who has been working together so diligently to ensure that people are vaccinated. This has helped us lead the state in our vaccination, having about 77% of our residents 12 and over who have been fully vaccinated, and nearly 83% 12 and over who now have at least their first dose. And the special part about this mass vax site at the mall in Columbia is that it was centrally located. So not only were we able to get so many vaccinations here for Howard County residents, we were also able to ensure that everyone in the entire region from the Baltimore area and the DC area had access to vaccination. We were the 13th mass vax site to open just a few months ago. And so in that short span of time, we were able to ensure that we not only addressed the barriers to vaccine, but made it much more convenient. If you're coming to the mall to shop or to eat, which many people do from around the entire region, they could come and get their shot. Well, here in Howard County, we have taken vaccination very seriously, and it's been an all-hands-on-deck approach. And so we've had about 90 plus pop-up clinics. We've been doing mobile vax site. If you are not yet vaccinated, there is no excuse. We've made it convenient, we've made it safe, and we have 3 efficacious vaccines there available for you. We want to keep you safe, and I think as we're seeing, most of the hospitalizations and the most severe sicknesses are people who are not yet vaccinated. So take care of yourself and your family. We're able to host this coming week 4th of July celebrations, and we are actually on the road to recovery because in large part of our high vaccination rates. So that means we're going to be having our kids back in school buildings for the fall. We're going to be able to have a kind of summer that was so much better than last year because of our vaccination rates. So it's not too late. If you're not yet vaccinated, get vaccinated. Because here in Howard County we took the COVID-19 pandemic seriously, now our metrics are leading the state. We have one of the best positivity rates, one of the best case count rates, and as we were able to celebrate being the 8th most healthy city in the nation, according to U.S. News and World Reports, we actually were able to celebrate in our hospital the first day since this pandemic started where we had no COVID-19 cases. That, along with our high vaccination rates, allowed us to be able to look at embracing a 4th of July much more like a sense of normalcy, where we'll have food trucks, we'll have bands, and we'll be able to congregate a little bit more than we have been over the last year and a half.
I'm thrilled to be here to celebrate the closing of something. It's not something that we typically celebrate, but in this case, it's a great milestone. We have so far vaccinated over 1.2 million people at sites like this across the state. And as you've heard, our metrics are in very good state. We are at less than 1% positivity. We are tied for first in the nation for that particular metric, and we are clearly headed in the right direction relative to our COVID response. I think what's important to note here is that we are not done. The fight is not over. A lot of what is going on here in Howard County is going on all across the state with local jurisdictions, the state, and even our federal partners reaching out and bringing vaccines and tests to people where they are. So we have mobile vaccination and testing operations all through the state. We are working at canvassing operations where we'll go door to door in some places, bringing vaccines to the door. So those are just a few examples of how we're turning the corner and why the state is moving from this emergency response to a recovery response, which is what I'll be leading over these next several months. The vaccination process and the numbers that we experienced as we set up these mass vax sites, as we started started vaccinating people all across the state going back to December and January, those numbers were amazing, right? On a daily basis, thousands of vaccines administered. We're now at the point where we have reached a significant proportion of our population that is vaccinated, and the next grouping of people that we're trying to reach is a little bit more difficult. Actually, it's a lot more difficult to get to the folks. So we're looking at all these various options for going to specific neighborhoods. We're using very much a data-driven, equity-focused approach, and that data is at the zip code, and that's actually at the census tract and neighborhood level to identify clusters of folks who are unvaccinated and reaching out with them directly. The work that Marylanders have done, and this is really each individual Marylander has stepped up not only to get a vaccine, but so many that have participated in helping their neighbors, helping their family and friends throughout this pandemic. Our state, individually, every one person should take pride in our response, and as every county and the state as a whole, the governments that have worked so closely together to fight this pandemic, it really is a moment of pride for all of us. We have not suffered as much as many other states that were not as prepared or did not respond as dramatically as we did. We have our first responders here who were critical to the early actions back at the beginning of the pandemic to help people get tested, to ensure people got immediate treatment where needed. And so all those pieces have come together to demonstrate that Marylanders, not surprisingly, are leading the pack in the country, and it's something, again, we should be proud of.